On today's episode of Identity, founder and managing director of EDISIM, Roger Boniface, hangs out in the Identity coffee shop. We spend a day in Orange Farm for the Saaberie Chisty Winter Warm campaign. And our What's Appening segment features the review of a medical handbook app and a book by a local author.
I am an individual with an imagination. My inner faith illuminates innovations. In a space with infinite inspiration, I was born free from all incarceration. Incredible, living infallibly, intelligent, outshine with my inner being. This is me, impeccable as ever been. I am you, you are me. This is my identity.
Botani Mzansi, enkosi ngokubukela i-Identity, khona apha kwiqongela phambili SABC 1 Mzansi for sure. Viwe Gxwala. I hope you're ready for 30 minutes of the best spiritual infotainment. All you have to do is settle down, grab a cup of coffee, and join me as I engage with our inspirational guest and bring you heartwarming stories. On that note, let's meet today's special guest. The young man joining me today has a true definition of odds beater. He wrote his matric finals in hospital after he was involved in a motorcycle accident. His high grades earned him a soccer scholarship in the USA, where he graduated with a BBA and an MBA in supply chain management at Clayton State University. Since his return to South Africa in 2014, he's at the helm of 3 businesses, founder of 2 of them. These businesses range from a training company that focuses on experiential learning using industry-leading business simulations to a boutique events company that hosts public and private social events. He's named as one of the 30 most promising young entrepreneurs in Africa in Forbes Africa's 30 Under 30 for 2018. This young man is a true inspiration, and I was delighted when he accepted my invitation. Roger, welcome to Identity.
Thank you for having me. It's a privilege.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show. I just want to find out about your upbringing. What was your childhood like?
So my childhood, I think, was like most other kids, I suppose. But my childhood, in terms of weekends and things from very young, was spent at flea markets. You know, I had big brothers and sisters, but that was kind of my entertainment. Mm-hmm. But we didn't do much holidays and things like that when I was younger, you know.
All right. And then how was spirituality then introduced to your life, and what role does it have in your life right now?
So I went to Catholic school, and I'm from a Catholic household, you know, but structured religion I've kind of moved away from in my journey of life. And I'm quite spiritual in a sense that I believe that you should do good, you know, do good to people, and almost have respect for others and have respect for yourself as well. So that's kind of how my journey has always taken me in terms of spirituality. All
right, and let's speak about your qualification. You've got an MBA in supply chain management. I want to understand, what does that entail, and what made you decide to get this qualification?
So I studied in the States, and I did my bachelor's degree there. And then shortly after, I was working in the States for a company called Kuhn & Nagel. And I decided, well, let me go back and do my MBA, and they offered me another scholarship through something else. So since I got it, I just kind of, I got more interested as you go in, and the more you delve into a subject, the more you start to appreciate it. Mm-hmm. And just having an MBA, I think in the States, first of all, and coming back here to start my own things, has given me confidence, which I think is important, especially when you're running your own business and you're trying to do new things every day, and you often, more often than not, or you get rejected all the time with ideas and trying to do things. But I think having an MBA has really taught me a real, what can I say, real life lessons, which I use every day.
Sure, okay. You speak of life lessons. I just want to backtrack a bit, where you were in the motorbike accident. Tell us about that part of your life, and how did you overcome that?
So I think, you know, I was meant to, like anyone my age, you know, you're finishing up matric. My dream was to go play soccer in Europe. And just before my matric finals, I was on the way to the gym, and I got hit by a car on my motorbike. So I ended up writing all my matric finals in hospital, and it took me about a year to get walking and running again. And there was kind of there was an unknown if you'll be able to play soccer again, if you'll be able to run again, which was tough. But kind of throughout life, it's just you, and it's probably a lesson from my mom. It's that you just keep doing it, and you know, you can't have an excuse. It doesn't matter. Excuse isn't going to make you any better or get you anywhere. So you just kind of, persistence will get you there. And luckily enough, the Europe door closed, but the American door opened, which I'm probably better off for.
So I want to find out more about EDISIM. It's an interesting name. Is it an acronym? And what exactly does the company entail?
Sure. So EDISIM is a name that I came up with, and it was kind of after Thomas Edison, whom I'm a big fan of. And then what it actually stands for is Education in Simulations. And the idea was that EDISIM came through when I was in the States, in my undergrad and my master's degree. We did business simulations, and I thought this was amazing. So instead of whatever textbook that you get thrown at, there's no point of learning theory if you can't put it into practice. Sure. That's the truth. So what these simulations do is give people the opportunity to try it. And they fail in a place where you can fail. So you're getting the necessary skills in the real world within a risk-free environment. It's fantastic. So I've brought those over here. I've got the sole agency here in South Africa. And more importantly, other than South Africa, I'm a preferred partner in Africa. So slowly but surely, I'm moving on into different places. And I think there's huge potential in Africa, more so than maybe what's in South Africa at the moment, which for me is very exciting.
Okay, so you spoke about the potential of business, but I want to find out more about the South African market, especially with the economy that we have. A lot of young people want to get into business. They want to find out more about business and the profitability of living off having a business. So what would you say your prediction is for the next 5 years or so about the business sector in South Africa?
So I think South Africa, I think we've got a tough time to come. I think we've had these last few years have been tough. I think it's going to get tougher. I also think people that are starting their own business is a great way to go. But start small and manage your risk properly. A lot of people they think they have the idea, and the first thing they do is they rush to the bank to see if they can get a loan. When they haven't even got the full thing down. I'm not saying just focus on a business plan and follow that, but have an idea of what you're trying to do and try to start as small as possible and as risk-free as possible so you can keep cash in your business to keep it going. Because most businesses that you see that suffer, it's because they've run out of a cash flow, although the idea is still good. And I think in the next few years, we're going to have a tough time with certain things, with political instability and stuff like that, which doesn't help anyone at the end. I think just general prices of things are going to go up. So it's going to be tough. But that means that you should try and enter it. You know what I mean? You almost use the difficulty as an opportunity. Yeah,
which is a true entrepreneurship, finding the opportunity. I want to just find out what really inspires you, what keeps you going, and what's the best piece of advice that you've got as an entrepreneur?
So I think the best piece of advice as an entrepreneur is to make sure you get paid. No business degree has taught me that, but the idea is that make sure you get paid. I think, and I experience it all the time, people that go out of business because someone hasn't paid them. So that's the other thing. The other thing is, I've always liked to kind of go by saying that successful people have an excuse, but they never use it. So I think people that have made it, if you see, the hard times that they've faced, they don't use it as an excuse. They don't use it for someone else to help them out. They just kind of keep going and figure it out themselves. So I would say those two things for me are key. And every day you just got to do what you can with that day, and hope that maybe it bears some fruit for the next day.
You were nominated for the 30 Under 30 list, which is for Forbes Africa. So please tell us about the nomination process.
So someone needs to nominate you towards Forbes. Then they got in touch with me, asked me to. It's quite an extensive criteria that they do, from financial audited statements to your entire life story. What makes you different? What do you do for the community? How many people do you employ? You go through a vetting process. Then they contact your references that you do, and then they. After I submitted that entire profile, they called me up and said, you won a Forbes, which I thought was very awesome, And it's changed, it's created big opportunities. This is one of the opportunities that's come from it. So I think if you are an entrepreneur and you're looking for exposure, it's a great way to do. Either you can nominate yourself, even get someone to nominate you, and try and get as much awareness as possible that's free. Advertising is expensive.
Yeah. And so we're commemorating 100 years of Nelson Mandela's legacy. How do you think you're carrying on the work that he had with what you're doing?
Sure. So this is tough because I'm a big fan of Madiba, and I love the way that he used to use sports as a big thing, because that was a big part for me. Unfortunately, now you get a little bit older, you start to move away from sports, I think within 2 to 3 years, we'll have an infrastructure that can support kids in terms of educating them with necessary skills. I think the skill shortage in this country from the grassroots level, I'm not talking at a tertiary level, I think is crucial, because as soon as those kids of a certain age that are behind in the education sector, they'll never catch up. And I think now with the way things are going with infrastructure, you can start to give kids a good education through things like, you know, smart devices and stuff like that. And I think with EDISIM, the idea is that with an online training tool, it can come at a fraction of a cost of what it stands for someone to stand in front of someone and do it. So EDISIM now is more towards the tertiary stuff. I think in the future, but I would say maybe 3 to 5 years, you can start to tail off towards the younger generation, definitely.
The grassroots levels.
Definitely.
Okay, so we're going to play a quick word game, all right? So now we can relax and shake the seriousness off, all right? And this game is called Would You Rather. So you need to answer me as quickly as possible, and I'll start the question with the phrase Would You Rather. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather have no teeth or no taste buds?
No teeth.
Would you rather have a rewind button or a pause button in your life?
Pause.
Would you rather sell chicken or be the chicken?
Sell.
Would you rather listen to Justin Bieber or Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift.
Would you rather be always 2 hours early or always 2 hours late?
2 hours early.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Roger, for joining us on i-Dentity.
Oh, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Xa kukhona abantu abafana no-Roger Boniface abazinkokheli, ikamba lelizwe lethu nehlabathi lonke liza kugqama. It's time for a short break. When we return, we head to Orange Farm to partake in a winter warm drive. And don't miss our media review segment, which features a review of a medical drug and disease handbook. Don't touch that remote. We'll be right back.
This is my identity. This is my identity.
Sanamkela kwakhona nisabukela i-Identity kunye nam uViwe Gxwala khonapha kwiqonge labaphambili SABC1 Mzansi for sure. Enkosi ngokuhlala nathi. It's now time to take a look at today's regional community story. We recently joined the Saaberie Chisty Society's Winter Warm campaign in Drizek Orange Farm. This annual outreach drive takes the chill out of winter for many children and the elderly in the community, and we decided to bring you the warm highlights of the day.
This is my identity.
Established 51 years ago, the Saaberie Chisty Society continues to serve the community of Johannesburg South with their outreach initiatives. One such community is in Drizek Orange Farm, where they conduct their annual Winter Warm campaign at the Saaberie Chisty Islamic Center.
Saaberie Chisty Dawah Center was initiated in the year 2009. And alhamdulillah, since for the past 10 years, we've been having some projects that have been good to the community, such as the masjid, such as the quality educational program for young ones, as well as the remedy of Islamic morals and ethics, as well as the community in terms of engaging in dawah days, to come and invite them towards the center and teach them what is the benefit of the center in their own community. We have been working closely together with the community as well as the leaders from ANC, which is the councillor. And alhamdulillah, the response is that everyone sees the center as their home.
In Drizek 3, most of the people are not working. We are living with destitute people, vulnerable people, because of the high rate of unemployment. Operation Omapul mo Saaberie Chisty every year. Bafa batho ba rona ba 500 blankets every year, and before ba di thola ba etsa breakfast batho ba je, and so yana ba re thusa ka gore batho ba rona ba dula ba futhumetse ka jara engle eng aba sokole ka dikopo.
Many people doesn't work, so all this helping us, our mothers, and everything that is happening here is very helpful for us, the community.
Saaberie Chisty, for the past 10 years, it has actually seen some of the needy things that our community needs, such as the food, such as the clothes, such as the blankets. We provide meals 365 days a year, even including on weekends. So now we do not say that no, it is a weekend, children are not going to school, but then a hungry stomach has to be fed daily. So deprivations, social problems, abuse, and what you call is remedial activities. All these things, they are lacking in our own community. So Saaberie Chisty is trying to remediate some of these errors so that our learners can actually become better leaders for tomorrow. Saaberie Chisty nkare e sebeditse haholo because in terms of spiritual reviving, motho le mong o batla tsela e reng wa e bona e tlo mkenya le hodimo e ntse molemo wa hore batho bana kaofela ba batlang ho tseba ka knowledge ya Islam ya banka e ba beya fatshe e ba hlalosetsa hore no Islam na itlile jwang into Africa.
After many years of serving the community from the wood and iron structure, the Saaberie Chisty Society now plans to build a mosque, education and community center on the present site, thereby giving the students and congregants a multifaceted religious compound they can be proud of calling their own.
And abana taba le gore o Mosotho or o Mozulu or o Hindu or o Muslim or o Christian ba tla mona ba tlothola counseling, so batho ba rona ba tswa mona le gore ba utlwisa hantle taba tsa modimo, so batho ba rona ba na le tshepo mo kerekeng haholo and e thusitse bana ba rona haholo kereke ba bang e ba nkile ba ise to university ba bang ba ko di technical schools ba bang ba kena sekolo hone mo e re thusa haholo kereke.
What is important for us is that we have to care for our own people because these are the young leaders of tomorrow. Because seeing that the learners have been given the jackets and as well as the big people will be given the blankets. Because what happens is that majority of them are unemployed. So all these learners, when they go to school, they can be able to utilize their jackets and they can feel warm and education is going to be better for them. So now 100% we are trying to say that no, for all those people that are affiliated with the center, we have to at least warm them up so that they can wake up tomorrow, go to school, go to work, and at the same time come to the Islamic Institute for them to benefit.
Thank you, Saaberie Chisty. You give us everything that we want. Thank you, all of you. Look at my jacket, it's so nice, and my cap is so nice. Jazakallah.
Tabila hampe ke thotse kobo. Ke tla Maria ingana.
Siyabonga. Ukuphakise ngoba. Sibonge kakhulu. Danke. Ngithabile ngithola ingubo yasebusika ngizofudumala.
Thank you, Saaberie Chisty. Our center is a spirit of Ubuntu. Jazakallah for the jackets and the hats. It's called intrinsic and keep us warm. It's the spirit of Ubuntu.
This is my identity.
Thank you to the Saaberie Chisty Society and their volunteers for sharing that heartwarming story with Mzansi for Show viewers. Uba nawo unalo ibali lakhanayo ongathanda ukusixelela nababukeli beMzansi for Show. Kulula ungakwenza oko ngokusithumela incwadi kwidilesi identitytvshow@gmail.com. Kwazi bani iqala le-identity lingathi gqi likundwendwele. It's time for one more break. When we come back, we head into today's What's Happening segment, which features the review of a medical handbook app and a Christian book by a local author, Nomcebo Ngema. We'll be right back.
This is my identity. This is my identity.
You're still watching Identity right here on Mzansi's #1 channel, SABC1 Mzansi for Show. I'm your host, Viwe Gxwala. If you've just tuned in, here's what you missed. Serial entrepreneur and founder of EDISIM, Boniface, helped get the show off to an inspired start. We then headed to Orange Farm for a winter warm blanket drive. Now it's time for this week's media review segment. This is What's Happening. Technology is really making things simpler and easy to access. If you're a medical practitioner or a student and want to look up different medical definitions and cures, well, today's app will help you improve your knowledge and vocabulary about medical terms and treatment information. It's called Medical Drug and Disease Dictionary. Let's check it out. Medical Drug Disease Dictionary app is a medical drugs book that provides you with all the information about drugs used for medication and different usage, dose, and storage. It's designed to help people look up definitions and technical terms in just seconds. The homepage offers you 3 different tabs such as Medical Dictionary, Drug Dictionary, and Disease Dictionary. The Medical Dictionary tab will provide you with medical terms and dictionary definitions with common and medical terms, as well as phrases used by professionals. The app also gives you an option to share and favorite any definition. Just click the star-shaped emoticon on the definition and it will be automatically placed under the Favorites tab. The Drug Dictionary tab will provide you with all information with regards to specific drugs and medication to use and the exact amount of dosage you have to take to cure or heal a specific illness. Search for any drug and the app will provide you with all the precautions and side effects of the medication. The Disease Dictionary tab will provide you with a list of diseases from A to Z. Each disease has a full definition, symptoms, cause, and treatment information. The app provides you with a detailed overview on how to control a specific disease. Make sure you get all the informative information at your fingertips with the help of Medical Drug Disease Dictionary app. Disclaimer: this app cannot and should not replace a pharmacist or a doctor consultation. App content is only for pocket reference and educational purposes. Consult a doctor before actual usage of any of the information in this app.
Lo app ibukeka ingathi inolwazi kwaye inoncedo ndiza kuzama okwam. Masingene kwisiqandisi esilandelayo. Yincwadi yamakholwa ebonisa uthando olungenamiselo uMoses analo ngoThixo. Ibizwa A Journey for Moses kaNomcebo Ngema. Masikrobe.
A Journey for Moses, Discovering the Love God Has for His Children, is a book written by a local author, Nomcebo Ngema, who tries to inspire the young people by bringing the biblical truths to modern-day living. The book is about an emotive God who's leading a nation of his children out of a terrible situation, and it's also about the journey we embark on in life, not the hardships or the miracles. The book is divided into 13 chapters. There are chapters like A Royal Priesthood, Waiting on God, The Wilderness, and The Promised Land. Chapter 1 of the book is titled The Calling, and it shares the beginning of Moses' story and explains furthermore about facing your true calling. Chapter 9 is laced with Bible verses in between as reference to bridge to the next part of the message. The chapter explains more that no man was built to isolate himself from God. If you are keen to uncover the truths of Moses and to learn more about the kind of relationship God desires, make sure you get a copy of A Journey for Moses by Nomcebo Ngema.
Before we wrap up the show, a quick note that this Friday, the 27th of July, the Buddhist community celebrate Asala Puja, which is also known as Dharma Day. This day is one of the important Buddhist festivals as it celebrates the first teachings of Buddha, who was the founder of Buddhism. This day is observed by donating offerings to temples and listening to sermons. We wish all our Buddhist viewers a happy and peaceful Dharma Day. Sesifike ekugqibeleni kwenye inkqubo ye-identity. Xhumanani nathi ku-Facebook, ku-Twitter naku-Instagram. Uba i-social media ayonto yakho ncam, suba nexhala. Ungasithumela incwadi kwidilesi identitytvshow@gmail.com. From me, Viwe Gxwala, and the Identity team, stay blessed. Goodbye.